Well, howdy folks, Doc Finley here again with another video in the lovely tower of the VR. So, in this one I'll be covering certs, what they do, whether you should use them, personally, based off what I said. Now, let's just check out the certs that the infiltrator gets, why don't we? Now, I know I'm obviously not super certed out, but as most TG know, I've restarted my character recently for personal reasons of sorts. So, let's just cover utility slots first. Now, obviously, they get 3 different utilities. Universal counts, I'll count it. So, you get the medical kit, restoration kit, and bouncing betties. I'll start with bouncing betties. I don't use them at all. The bouncing betties, they're good. They're the only offensive utility, granted, but I don't feel killability is that great. They're really chance kills. And what I mean by that is you got to set it up and hope the enemy runs into it. Now, if a heavy runs in with his extra shield, you're probably not going to kill him. If a max runs in, I guarantee you probably won't kill him. So, what's better? Being able to heal yourself because you're not near any medics and stay in the fight and kill 3, 4 more guys, or get a couple chance kills. Now, Rage can say the bouncing betties, he says they're good. I know exactly why he uses them. He can tell you why if he wants. But it's really for sniping. It's not really for close quarters. It sounds weird, but Rage has all the information on that. So I'll cover the kits. The restoration kit, as you can see, I don't have any certs in. I don't use it. Some people do. I don't. It heals over time for 500 health. That's a standard loadout on health. As I covered in an earlier video, it standard infantry health is 500 health, 500 armor. So they heal full health, of course, but so does the medical kit. The medical kit, however, heals instantly. 500 health instantly gets you in the battle quicker. So you carry up to 4 of those versus the 2 bouncing betties. So let's just say your bouncing betties do get 2 kills. Alright, that's 2 kills. Whereas you get into 4 firefights, you heal yourself up fully 4 times to kill 3, 4 more people per medkit, per time needing it. So, I just stick with the medical kit. It's up to you on what you want to use. If you want to keep bouncing back and forth, different loadouts and whatnot, by all means, go ahead. So now, on to hacking. As you can see, I have 1 cert in it. That's all I put in it. You should not be... You shouldn't be hacking in a firefight. Again, it's just not smart. So you should be hacking when you are relatively safe, you think you're safe, and you have time. And it's already fairly quick as is. So, I'm not really going to put much time into this one. Tool slot, again, I didn't even put cert in it. I may later, but I just don't see it worth it right now. With only 45 seconds and, 50 meters. Yeah, that's good. And you have 5 darts. But 45 seconds per dart, I don't see it being practical. I base what I see off of my natural in-game senses of sorts, if you will. What I hear, what I see, what just doesn't feel right. So, I hear people talking, I hear call-outs, I hear, gunshots and all that. I hear beacons, different things like that. So, I really don't use recon detect device all too often. If I get bored and run out of what to spend certs on, I'll use it. So, on to ability. Well, abilities. Nano armor cloaking. I'm just going to debunk that right now. It's useless as a bunch of choice words. Yeah, you're armored. Woo. But it takes away from how long you're cloaked. And regardless, cloaked with hunter cloaking or cloaked with nano armor cloaking, the enemy gets a hit marker. They know you're there now. If they're shooting at you anyway, they already know you're there. There's a good chance at least. So, either way, you got a chance at living. But, I don't recommend using nano armor cloaking at all. It takes away from how long you can be cloaked, and it's downright useless, in my opinion. hunter cloaking, it works just fine. It's the building block of the infiltrator, let alone close quarters infiltrator. So on to suits. The advanced shield capacitor. I hear good things about it being maxed out cheaply, at least, 350 certs around. So, it keeps you in the action. Once you leave, you jump in quicker. It keeps you back in there quicker. But with my fighting style, I back out if I need to reload or reheal, and I flank the enemy, and I assess where they're going and what they're looking at. If they're still going to where I was, then I can shoot them in the back, and I won't need to worry about my armor, whether it's charged or not, but by then it will be. Almost always it will be. So I really don't use it. But on to ammunition belt. Maxed out, it's quite a hefty price. That's actually 1,000 plus certs to max out the ammo belt. You get 4 extra magazines for weapons, both primary and sidearm. But that's 100 rounds for the Cyclone, 200 rounds for the Blitz. So yeah, it keeps you in the action quite a bit. Now, if you're sure you're not going to get hurt a lot, and you're really good at sneaking around and hitting them from behind, but you need a lot of ammo, by all means, use this. So into flak armor. Yeah, decreases explosions by 50%, not 500. But if someone's shooting you with rockets, there's a good chance you're not going to make it out of there. A lot of encounters. It doesn't stop bullets any. So it doesn't help you with bullets, which is mainly what you'll run into. So I really don't use it. I mean, I've had a lot of Mossies and a lot of sites shoot at me with rockets. I just cloak and I just run as quick as I can out of their explosion radius and hope they forget about me. And usually they do. Sometimes they get lucky and find me. Sometimes they have thermals while I uncloak to recharge, and they get me again. But again, I just don't see any use in it. Grenade bandolier, that's good if you're going to use the EMP grenade. Other than that, I really don't see any use in it. Decoy grenade, I wouldn't even carry half a decoy grenade. And I'll get onto that here in a minute. But if you're carrying EMP grenades, yeah, that clears 3 whole buildings. Yeah, so if you're clearing buildings in an amp station, by all means, grenade bandolier it up. Make things go boom, shoot people, and make good things happen. But on a nano-weave armor, it's what I really use. I mean, as you can see, it's the only thing I've sorted. So it's quite hefty at almost 1,300 certs, but it's an extra 250 health. That increases your total health, including your armor, to 1,250. I'll take an extra 2 hits, depending on what they're shooting me with at what range. I'll take some extra hits and still live. So, I'll take that. I'll be very satisfied with that. Extra survivability and whatnot. But it's very self-explanatory. So, on to grenades. The infiltrator gets 3 types of grenades. It shows here too, but the fragmentation grenade I count. Obviously, you know what it does. If you don't, well, you obviously need to hit G once or twice while standing straight and looking down. Now, with the decoy grenade, it's useless. It is the most utterly useless invention ever. The flashlight is more useful. This item gives you away. If the enemy doesn't know you're in an area, don't throw a decoy grenade to give them a false presence. It shows up on the map, woo. But now they know someone's there. It puts them on alert, whereas you could have just snuck behind them and shot him in the back. Yeah, he knows you're there now, but he didn't before. That's one more kill you got on him. So I would stay away from that. But the EMP, on the other hand, I recommend. On the other hand, it takes out enemy armor, and it makes their screen fuzzy. So, bolt those for 10 seconds. So, let's start with the fuzzy screen. If you're cloaked and their screen's fuzzy, it already makes it harder to see without being fuzzy. But if it's fuzzy, now a cloaked infiltrator is harder to see. So, there you go. You've cleared a room with an EMP grenade, and he has a fuzzy screen now. So while being cloaked as you walk in, it's harder for him to see things. Now, his armor goes down for 10 seconds. Now, if you remember what I said, armor is 500 health, pretty much. That's half his health. At least half his health gone with one EMP grenade. So some people say this doesn't do any damage, but armor is health, just rechargeable. So you take out half his health, that's less you need to kill him with. So I recommend it. I use it. I like it. Obviously, I haven't started on this character now, but I will be soon. So it's just something I recommend. On top of that, it takes out enemy equipment. Bouncing Bettys, claymores, beacons, AV mines, mana turrets, those things. And, you know, a lot of the enemy and us have a habit of putting mines, AV mines, claymores, bouncing Bettys, all that around our Sundays. So if you throw it on an enemy Sunday, there's a good chance you've blown up equipment, which could quite possibly blow up spawned enemies, NGs repairing, damage the Sunday, you know, things like that. You can get kills for that. And on another note, it takes out enemy equipment, or not equipment, but abilities. If you have a cloaked infil, it takes out his armor and his cloaking. So now you've got an uncloaked infil. If you're fighting heavy, takes out his armor. Only if he's got it activated though. So it takes out his ability armor and his armor, regenerable armor. And then you have basically a soldier without armor. You take out his standard armor, his rechargeable armor, but he still has time to fire up his active armor if he hasn't already. So that's pretty much weapons in a nutshell. Well, certs in a nutshell. Now, I hope I was able to help you with this. It's, you know, if I haven't, I'm sorry. If I have, well, I'm glad you were able to get something out of this. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Again, Doc Finley TG. It's great being able to do these videos and help people learn different classes, learn how to play the game differently. So again, Doc Finley TG. I hope to see you on the battlefield, and let's make things go boom.